Cyberpunk 2077. There are a lot of questions right now in the gaming community about Cyberpunk 2077 running on Xbox Series S. A lot of us can't buy a PS5 or a Xbox Series X right now, and the only available console out there is Xbox Series S. And therefore, I decided to make a review and answer some questions about the Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox Series S. And in the future, about next videos, I will also talk about Xbox Series S in general and different games running on it. So let's start. There are a lot of questions, and I myself asked these questions and searched around the internet, and I did not find a lot of answers to these questions. Why when I bought Cyberpunk for Xbox Series S, because I myself did not know if the game would work. Because I owned a PS4 before that, and the game was not playable on the PS4. So some of those questions I myself asked before too are like, is it playable on the Xbox Series S? And I would say I played the game. I finished the game on the Xbox Series S, and I would say the game is very playable. It is running at a smooth 30 FPS. That is stable 99% of the time. You get some drops from time to time, of course, but those drops don't happen frequently. These are not something frequent. So that doesn't affect, for me, for someone that is used to play on console, I didn't even see a problem, a difference. I played at 30 FPS and it was pretty smooth and playable for me. Compared to the PlayStation 4, of course, it was like a huge difference. It was a lot better. Like, you can play the game and enjoy it. Like on the PS4, it was like totally different. I couldn't play the game. I couldn't enjoy it. There were so many bugs. There were so many drops. Like, it didn't matter where you were, in the middle of the city or in the middle of the desert. Like, you had FPS drops everywhere. So it runs on smooth 30 FPS and it's stable. And I myself asked questions before. I was like questioning it. Are there maybe a lot of bugs? Yes, there are bugs. Like, it would be wrong to say no, but those bugs are not game destroying bugs. At least for me, I did not encounter bugs that destroyed my game. Those were like some car popping up in the street that wasn't there, or some AI problems. Yes, the AI is very, very weak in this phase of the game. There's the question of the game, if the game is worth it on the Xbox Series S. The game itself, the story, the immersion, yes, it is. It has its flaws, but the game itself is a really. It's enjoyable, and if you are someone that likes cyberpunkish, like futuristic games, then it's something for you. And I'm on the Xbox Series S. It's very playable. It's pretty smooth at 30 FPS. Not that many bugs. So for me, it was a decision I made that I'm happy with. The price is a bit high on the Xbox Series S because you can't buy a material disc. Like, you can't buy the disc. You have to buy digital, and on the in the store it costs, like, Microsoft Store, it costs around, I think, $70. That's a bit too much, but if you want to play it, it's very playable. So it's up to you if you want to pay $70 or not. I have to say one thing though about the story. The game is very playable, but the story is a bit on the short side for me. I expected it to be a little longer than that. The main story. Of course, there are like side quests, side missions you can play. You can play like two playthroughs or 3 playthroughs, and there are side quests you can finish that have like a certain amount of immersion. Yes, so all in all, if you want to buy Cyberpunk 2077 for your Xbox Series S, I would recommend it. It's playable, and yes, it's running at 30 FPS, smooth, and yes, I recommend it. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and I would appreciate it if you would leave a like. See you in the next video.